Buy my book, bro. It's on Amazon. Buy my book, bro. Do not buy Mullen stock. What I need you to do is max your tax advantage accounts. Buy VT. I'm a long-term booglehead. I'm author the book Stop Being a Broke Loser. Unfortunately, I have been a loser my whole life. I chew on tobacco. My wife looks like a hillbilly horse that been run over by 2 trucks. And my link is in the description. Oh man, I had an employee pass by. One of my coworkers. I don't want my coworkers seeing me here that I sit in my car and make YouTube videos making fun of people that really have money. Oh, there's another one. There's another one passing by. Let me roll these windows up. Want anybody hear me talking to you guys on my lunch break? So once again, max your tax advantage accounts. Buy VT. Is Baba going up today? Let's see here. Baba. Oh my darn. Baba's up today. Well, I'm no longer down 60% on Baba. I'm only down about 55% on Baba now. Okay. Do not buy Tesla. Do not buy Mullen. No. Anyways, guys, let's get back to business. US to offer funds. By the way, I forgot to tell you guys. I'm not buying no Mullen stock, seriously though. I do not care for Mullen stock. I want nothing to do with Mullen stock. If I was to buy another EV company, except for Workhorse, that I do own 5,500 shares of, it would not be Mullen stock. They're not going to be selling these cars for a minute. They have one car that does nothing special. They have a Chrysler coming out that looks almost identical, the same, but the Chrysler looks so much better. There's really nothing new about this car. Therefore, I would not be buying any shares of Mullen stock. No matter the financials. Listen, of course, the financials aren't going to look good. They're losing money. They're a growth company. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say, oh, this money's bad because they're losing money. They're a startup company. The product is not even selling yet, and that's not good. And there's so much better options right now, just as far as EV wise. But I'm not looking to diversify my portfolio with many EV companies right now. At the moment, I am holding Workhorse, and I'm looking to get as much Workhorse shares that I can at these levels, but it stops there as far as the EVs right now. So I'm not coming anywhere close to Mullen. But I do want to get into DPLS. Right? If you're a Mullen shareholder, I want you guys to look into DPLS, DARKPULSE. This company has a real product, real revenue, and is really doing something that will help change the world for the better. Not just another EV company. Now, mind you, if you want to invest your money into Mullen after it had a crazy run up, of course there's a chance it could keep going and going and going. But to me, this market cap, and from how far away they are from actually selling this car and bringing in any type of real revenue, It's a long ways away, and there's just too much risk for me to put any kind of money into Mullen. But to all my DPLS people out there, and to everybody that will be willing to look into DPLS, I want to read something to you guys, right? U.S. to offer funds of 2.9 billion for major infrastructure products. This is straight from Reuters. The White House will announce on Wednesday a funding opportunity of 2.9 billion earmarked by the Transportation Department for major infrastructure products this year as part of a $1 trillion law Congress approved in 2021. U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and White House Infrastructure Coordinator Mitch, I'm gonna call him Mitch L. I'm not pronouncing another last name. Will unveil the plans at an event held at a major bridge linking the U.S. capital of Washington with Arlington, Virginia. The grant funding offers a once in a generation opportunity to fix our outdated infrastructure and invest in a major product for the future of our economy. Buttigieg said applications are due by May 23rd. The figure includes $1 billion for products of national or regional significance but are too large or complex for traditional programs, which Buttigieg described as the cathedrals of our infrastructure. Such structures will be bridges, tunnels linking two states, new rail and transit lines of freight hubs integrating ship, train, and truck traffic. The department also plans to award $300 million for rural projects and $1.55 billion for other highway, multimodal freight and rail projects. A potential funding receipt is a $12.3 billion project that aims to build a new tunnel between New York City and New Jersey and reconstruct an existing one. Buttigieg said he expected the projects to apply for funding, but it would face review like all the rest. On a visit to the existing tunnel, Buttigieg added he saw a sense of urgency around those much needed upgrades. The Hudson Tunnel Project, is a key component of the Gateway Program, a major project to overhaul much of aging rail infrastructure in the New York City area. The New York City area rail tunnel, which opened in 1910, was damaged in 2012 when Superstorm Sandy flooded parts of the city. Congress approved $66 billion for the rail as part of the massive infrastructure bill, which passenger railroad Amtrak receiving $22 billion. The bill also set aside $36 billion for competitive grants. How much of this money do you guys think is going into DARKPULSE with its patented laser technology that nobody is doing out there? With them just showcasing on CBS, CNBC, with them already having a contract with Transcal, with them getting acquisition after acquisition after acquisition last year. How much of that money do you guys think is going into DARKPULSE? I want to see if I could just real quick find this interview that he did. Bear with me. That's funny. I was looking up this interview and guess what popped up? My guy, oh crap, what's next? I know you covered this interview too. That's funny. Let me see if I can find it on your channel. Everybody go subscribe to oh crap, what's next? It's my guy right there. Did you play this video or what? Oh, come on, man. All right, let me find this. Bear with me, guys. Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun. I think we got it. I might have showed this to you guys before too, but
around the country to submit their own designs, and so far more than 600 companies have sent in ideas. You've submitted a bid, but you're really calling it a smart wall. Why?
Well, I mean, just the history of what's been going on the border, we do need a physical barrier, but I think we need to take it one step further, put in a technology that can actually detect people either molesting the wall, crossing the wall, or more importantly, tunneling underneath the wall.
More importantly, because we hear about all these tunnels, Geraldo has gone through and see all these tunnels coming through Mexico. Let's take a look at some of the designs. Put them up on the screen. What are we looking at here, Dennis?
So that was a graphic rendering of our proposal that we're going to get to Homeland Security. It's showing the physical barrier. It's sort of a loosely, like the information at the time that we're getting from Homeland Security is it's just saying that it's a 30-foot barrier. There's really not much detail. So for me, we just depicting a wall with our technology both embedded inside the wall, but then more importantly, you'll see we actually have the fiber
cable, and right. That will recognize the different vibrations in the ground.
Exactly.
So I'm curious about this because you had before offered to Homeland Security your services at cost. You weren't going to make any profit to put up a smart wall, not even really a physical barrier. They didn't take you up on it.
No, I've been saying that for years. Since 2012. And, at the time there was another project. It didn't talk about a barrier, physical barrier. It talked about technologies on the border. And there were some areas of the border that it's almost impossible to have current technologies. It's almost a guessing game. You look at a terrain.
I've heard some experts say, look, the technology that we have at Area 51, they can detect a mouse moving miles away, but there's no physical wall. And there's guys there with guns and SUVs ready to pounce on that secret installation for the government. They can detect a mouse. Why do we need a wall?
It comes down to manpower. So we have almost a 2,000-mile area that has to be under surveillance. So how do you then enforce people coming across the border? You'd have to have hundreds of thousands of border agents. So I agree with the president's plan of having a physical barrier. But again, I'm saying we need to have a smart.
You need to have that additional piece. Sure. The president's watching this morning, watching our show right now. What is your pitch to him? What's your best pitch?
There's 600 plus companies going after this. It's hard for me to pitch it because I think the president's heart is in the right place. I know he's going to make the right decision. Just the fact that this has already been put out to the public. The man's only been in office, 100 days yet?
Not even, yeah.
Right, and these things normally take, 2 or 3 years to even get to this stage. So, my pitch is, yes, we need a physical barrier. Everybody agrees, it makes sense, but we need a smart wall. Because why spend the $20 billion or whatever they're saying it's going to cost, and a guy with a shovel can defeat that.
Now let's watch
Dennis O'Leary, great to see you this morning.
This technology being put up about a week ago on a bridge with CNBC covering it.
So long, so they decided to go with a full understanding is where that new bridge is going to be. Today we're going to run in our fiber optic system. So during this process, we have 4 crew members pulling the fiber sensor cable through the rebar case. Takes approximately 4 hours. And then we'll run what they call an OTDR test to make sure that there were no kinks or damage to the fiber after it's been installed. Once we have the green light there, the next step is the construction company will hoist the entire rebar cage and then set it into the hole that was drilled yesterday. This installation is a little bit different. It's to protect the cable a little bit more so than it did last time. Last time we had no problem, but it was nerve-wracking because when they lift this or hoist this, it's about 150-foot section of cage. It'll drag along the ground. We felt we were a little too close to the bottom last time, so now we're putting an extra margin of safety. We're about 2 feet up from the bottom of the pier, and that's the 3, 6, 9, 12 o'clock position.
At a 90-degree increment. This is the area where we had it last time. The sensor.
Sort of that one space. So we actually, you'll see it fit into that space. He's going to step on it while they're actually scaling this thing while it's going down in the hole. So
we've got these two.
Right now is your chance to get into the beginning stages of a company that I think is going to be a mega giant. How much of that infrastructure bill do you think DARKPULSE is going to get? What they're doing, there is no competition. And we are what? 6, 7 other companies already? Do not buy Mullen. Grab as much DARKPULSE as at these levels as you can. That's just my opinion. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody out there. And definitely do not listen to coward bozos like Belly that wrote a book on how not to be a broke loser and ended up being a coward, broke, loser, bozo with the ugliest wife I have ever seen. Salute, guys.